Some of us think we're really great people, but in the real world we're not. We're terrible people. You run your life in a very selfish way, and you think you're doing good when you're actually not. And at the same time, it's how do democracies turn back into dictatorships? It's happened through history forever and ever.
So, rumor has it Gina Carano reportedly won her lawsuit against Disney. Yes, the one Disney probably wished would just disappear. This is setting a major precedent, not just for Lucasfilm, but for the entire Disney empire. And Bob Iger is rumored to be taking it very seriously. Apparently, he's scheduling a meeting that could decide the future of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and all the projects they've been working on. It's like the Death Star of board meetings. Everything's on the line here. And speaking of on the line, guess what's reportedly on the chopping block? The new Jedi Order movie. You know, the one where they plan to bring Rey back under the direction of an extremely new director, someone your people were already questioning. Yeah, rumor has it that movie's canceled. An official statement is supposedly coming soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to just quietly sweep it under the rug. Let's be real. Who was genuinely excited about this? No one was really throwing a party over it. Meanwhile, editorials are circulating everywhere with headlines like, "How to revive Star Wars. Just give us Luke Skywalker in animation." People are just saying, fine, if you can't handle live action, give us an animated Luke. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like Kennedy is being told to step aside so someone who actually knows what they're doing can fix this. And honestly, that might be the best idea out there right now. But it doesn't stop there. There are rumors that Kathleen Kennedy is considering retirement. But here's the kicker. She wants to go out on a high note, on her terms. Chris Gore, an insider, explained that she's waiting for a win to be her swan song. But here's the problem. Kathleen Kennedy hasn't had a win with Star Wars for years, maybe ever. So her saying, "I'll retire when I get a win," sounds suspiciously like I'm never retiring. She's in denial if she thinks there's going to be some triumphant moment in the future. At this point, waiting for Kennedy to score a Star Wars win is like waiting for a Jawa to tell you the truth. It's just not happening. Seriously, the moment Disney put her in charge of Lucasfilm, they handed her a $4 billion franchise that was still vibrant, still profitable, and she managed to crash it like a TIE fighter in hyperspace. The fan base is exhausted. Look at The Acolyte. Even if they bring back fan favorites like The Mandalorian or Grogu, that original magic is missing. For a lot of fans, Star Wars isn't Star Wars anymore. Once Disney started pushing agendas that had nothing to do with the story, it felt like George Lucas's legacy was just thrown aside. And that's what so many people have a problem with. And it's not just Star Wars. The Lord of the Rings is getting the same treatment. But we'll roast that marshmallow another day. Let's get back to Kathleen Kennedy, who has been mismanaging a $4 billion franchise since she took over Lucasfilm in 2012 with almost no accountability. Think about that. She's had flop after flop, controversy after controversy, and Disney just keeps renewing her contract like it's some kind of cosmic joke. It's like giving the keys to the Millennium Falcon to someone who can't even handle a speeder bike. And don't even get me started on The Acolyte. That show has the energy of a sleeping Wookiee. It's barely even sparking interest, but somehow, Kennedy's fighting to get a season 2 greenlit. If that happens, it's practically the final nail in the coffin for Star Wars as we know it. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about Star Wars or even Kathleen Kennedy's track record. It's about the broader culture war going on in entertainment. Fans of beloved franchises like The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and countless others feel like they're being sidelined, dismissed, told they're not the audience anymore. These companies don't care if fans actually like the product. It's like McDonald's saying, "We don't care if you like our burgers and fries." That's the whole point of your business. The fans are being treated like the enemy. Disney has lost billions on Disney Plus, and it's clear they're not learning their lesson. And that brings us to the critics who are actually calling it like it is. People like the Critical Drinker, for example, have become heroes to a lot of fans simply for speaking up. Kathleen Kennedy and people like her might see critics like him as the enemy, but they're just stating the obvious. We're the ones paying for these movies and shows. We're the reason these franchises became cultural icons. But when Kennedy and Disney keep churning out this divisive, agenda-driven content, we're somehow the problem for not loving it. Just look at The Acolyte. That's the perfect example of how far Star Wars has fallen. It's supposed to be this big deal, and yet it's got about as much excitement around it as a Jawa trading post. The real fans, the people who grew up with Star Wars, see it and think, this is not the galaxy far, far away that we knew and loved. And that's the real tragedy here. Star Wars used to be about hope, courage, and adventure. Now, it's a hollow shell trying to sell us something we didn't ask for. The truth is, Kathleen Kennedy will never get that big win she's supposedly holding out for. The damage she's done is already too deep. Even the critics who still defend her know it. She's taken a franchise that had fans from all walks of life, male and female alike, and turned it into something that's actively pushing them away. And the moment she's finally gone, the people defending her now will probably breathe a sigh of relief. And to leave you with a classic story about Kathleen Kennedy, here's a quote from Steven Spielberg. She was horrible at taking notes. We'd pitch ideas, and Kathy's supposed to be jotting them down. Would put her pencil down and say something like, "What if he didn't get the girl, but got the dog instead?" That's the level of insight that's been steering Lucasfilm for over a decade. If you guys like today's video, please subscribe, like, and help us keep this conversation going. Without voices like ours, these corporations will just keep up their creative destruction of these beloved franchises. And make sure to keep a lookout for future videos, because we're diving deeper into the Gina Carano lawsuit fallout and why Disney is finally feeling the heat. This cultural battle is just getting started, and we're here for it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.